Yo, welcome to episode 1 of the Speaking of Krump podcast. It's the first episode of a podcast that we're hoping to continue moving forward, talking about what we're going to talk about Krump, UK Krump specifically, our adventures and traveling to events in Europe and all this jazz, right? So that's our intentions, right? It's the first episode. It kind of feels funny because we always say, let's do a podcast, and now we're actually sat here and I'm just staring down at the camera and I don't know what's going on.
Well, let's introduce ourselves first.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to start.
So,
me first? Alright, okay. CrookedDistrict, J-Kilius, part of House of Thieves crew. That's just me in a nutshell.
I am Repz, aka Girl Riot, representing our block, Eat Movement, Chick Squad, and House of Thieves.
Nice. Yeah, you have more to say than me. I feel, anyway, moving forward. So, alright, okay, actually, I do know a good place to start with this. And what I wanted to ask about is, we are in the middle of planning season 3 of Buck the Bridge. Don't know if you want to talk a little bit about what Buck the Bridge is.
Yeah, well, we've got Buck the Bridge Battle League, so that's the main thing that we're going to talk about. So, like Crook said, we're now going into season 3. We've had season 1 and season 2 already. The seasons run over 3 months, and each month everyone can enter, whether you've been to the first one, the second one, all of them, you can just come along and enter, and it's a 1v1 tournament, and you could gain points just from doing a pre-selection. If you get through the pre-selection, you get more points. If you win a battle, you get more points. So the whole concept of it is to gain as many points as you can to then win the title of the Battle League season. Yeah,
so each event they earn points, and then at the end we have that final leaderboard, and we can determine who's first place, second place, etc., and then that's it. We have the overall winner. But I think what's really exciting to me about this format is our first 2 winners, the winner of season 1 and the winner of season 2. Both of them didn't actually win an event overall, I don't think.
No, none of them. Yeah, they just were consistent, and they were consistently good, and either placed 2nd, 3rd, maybe 4th. So they just accumulated a lot of points to then overall win the leaderboard. So I think what a good thing is about the Battle League is you don't have to be the top dog all the time. I don't know if you've ever entered an event and been like, I'm not going to win this because this person's here, this person's here, this person's here, this person's here. And then it can get a little bit disheartening, like if you can't even get through a pre-selection. But this way, you can earn points and actually beat people who aren't consistent.
Yeah. You'll still be able to take over them in the leaderboard.
Yeah.
And this because I was talking to Young CrookedDistrict, who was the winner of season 2. So shout out to him. Also shout out to Little Braze as well, the winner of season 1.
Big up you. Shout out.
When I was talking to Young CrookedDistrict about it, it was interesting because like I said, he didn't come first in any of the events. I think he came second, and then 3rd, which matched him on enough points.
Is that Hunter?
Yeah, Hunter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He did.
And he managed to match the same amount of points at the end of event 3 as Little CrookedDistrict, as Gripper, Big Campaign, and even though Big Campaign had won one of the events, so he took the maximum points home from that event. They ended up tying for the sort of grand final, and then actually Dan managed to pull out the bag. Hunter managed to pull out the bag for season 2 and take that win just for that 1 extra point. So it's quite interesting how this kind of narrative, this story, could happen for anyone, really.
Yeah.
And there's a few people that I'm waiting for them to really, just have that like a solid, event. They might just be on for that one event and just rack up enough points just to keep them and put them in the top 3 at the end of the leaderboard. It's a narrative that can sort of happen for anybody as long as they're as long as they're consistent.
I love the concept, and I love that it offers a place for someone to be consistent because it is every month. So they go home, they lab up for it, and they're like, okay, I'm coming back for the next one. And so even if you don't win, you don't rack up as many points as you want to rack up, You've still got a goal to work towards, and there's still something there for people to, like I say, work towards. And then, without even realising it, people are levelling up. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's quite nice to sort of be in a position to try and beat the amount of points that you had last season. And so, like, win or lose, like, the only problem I have with these kind of events is there is always a winner or a loser.
Yeah.
And there is going to be somebody who's in first place for every single event. But actually, there's a lot of people that I was really impressed by and who are leveling up, as you say. But sometimes they get knocked out in the quarterfinals or something like this. And actually, I was desperate to see more from them. But hopefully, I'd like to think that people kind of take away from each season that they want to beat the amount of points that they earned overall from last season.
Rather than focusing on people, because I feel like tournaments are situationships. It all depends on who you get matched up with, and it all depends on the music. Maybe you don't like certain styles of Krump music, so if you get a style that you're not really liking, you maybe won't dance as great as how you would on a track that you're gonna get off on. And then also how you're feeling on the day. So, like, tournaments are really situationships, but with this, I feel like there's so many more opportunities to dance, because we also have after the pre-selections, we have an extra battle for the top 7th and the 8th space. So we usually get like 3 people for top 7, 3 people for top 8, and then they get to battle it out. And then we choose the top ones from them to be the 7th and the 8th spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then after that, it's the call-outs. So we do it like EBS style. So if you've gone to EBS, which is European Buck Sessions, it's a major event in Germany. Usually what they do is everyone that gets picked to battle, they stand in a lineup and they get to call each other out before the battles happen. Yeah. So this is what we do in our event. We usually get them in a circle, spin the hat, whoever it lands on, they get to call out anybody that's in that circle. So that way we kind of like make it happen naturally rather than pairing people up of who we want to see battle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've kind of gone off on a tangent there, but I was like...
No, it's good. It's good insight, because I was thinking about this, about how like for me, I get too worked up. I get too like involved with the battle league, because I end up speaking to my little homies like, yeah, if you call out this person, that they might get this many points, but if this person battles this person, they only get 4 points instead of 5, and that means you're in the lead. So make sure you take them out first. And we end up doing all these maths, like particularly before the last event of the season. Yeah, we're trying to suss out who the best person to call out is.
See, that's weird. See, I actually, even though I'm part of House of Thieves, I actually like to enjoy entering the battle league as well. I know people have a thing like, oh, you shouldn't enter your own event. But let me tell you something, there's not a lot going on in the UK. So when there's no tournaments for Krump in the UK, how am I supposed to practice? When I go to travel to other events overseas, I haven't got that practice in. So as well as doing this for the community, we're obviously also wanting Thieves as a whole to grow. So I entered the league, both season 1 and season 2. And for me, like, I didn't pay attention to the points at all, so I didn't do any maths. I don't think I got to call out anyone. I don't think the hat actually landed on me at all the second.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got called out every time, which is fine. But I never sort of added up the points, because for me, my whole purpose for this is to train for when I do actually get to do a tournament again, like overseas, because like I said, we don't get anything here. For tournament wise, there's no Krump tournaments in the UK.
Yeah.
So this is why we put the Battle League on as well, so we can actually have something in the UK where we can, rather than just labbing by ourselves at home to not put it into practice. Yeah. We can have something that's going to help us practice and get us out of our comfort zone a little bit, and and we're hoping the whole community of the UK could come together and really push each other. That's the goal, to really push each other and just battle each other, so then we are ready for any situation. But yeah, I didn't focus on the maths at all. I just wanted to beat myself, and the Battle League is the first event I've ever won. Like, I didn't win a season, but I won an event.
That was your first.
That was my
event
first ever thing that I've won.
Really?
Apart from online stuff, but I don't like in person.
Okay, yeah. No, there is a difference.
There's a
yeah,
difference.
Of course.
So in person, that's the first thing I've ever won. So for me, that's what I was focusing on. Right. Last time, I only got through the pre-selection. Okay, this time I won a battle. The next one, I want to win 2 battles. So then I won, I got to like top 4, and then I think me and Luke had to battle for 3rd place, and I think I won one, and then the next one he won one, so it was like me and him. And then the second season, was it the first event? I think it was event 1. I won like that's
I think it
the
was
first one of event 2. So event 1 of season 2, I won that, and I was just like, I done it. So I went through all of season 1, going through that journey of getting through pre-selections, not getting any further, then getting a little bit further, and then getting a bit further, and then I finally, season 2, event 1, I finally won.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, but I didn't look at points at all. So
if you had the chance to call somebody out, would you call somebody out because you were interested in battling them, or there's like a reason and you just wanted to like enjoy the event, or is there a part of you that thinks this person's above me in the leaderboard, so I need to knock them out early so they don't something like this?
You know what, I actually did get to call out, and the 2 people that were left, sorry, there was 3 people that was left. One of them I think was my little homie, so I was like, I'm not gonna battle my little homie. And then it was Bhakti and Theme, your little homie.
Yeah, baby cricket.
And I hadn't battled any of them, so I'd done a quick and then who it landed on, and then I picked them because I wanted to battle someone that I hadn't battled, and it was both of them, and I was like, okay, which one? So I was like, eeny, meeny,
I see. Okay, yeah.
And then so that's how I got it. So I got Theme was the only person I got to call out. So Bhakti, I want them rounds.
So you ever battled Bhakti before?
No, I haven't battled Bhakti. Yeah. So next time it will be him that I'll call out.
Yeah, I see.
If I get to, because Dan, I've battled. Hunter, I've battled too many times.
So many times.
Steve as well, so many times. So Steve, aka Gripper, aka Big Campaign, aka Little District, CrookedDistrict, aka Monster Echo.
Yeah, right.
Too many AKs.
The whole paragraph around there, that's interesting. That's really interesting. Because Bhakti is, for me, he's like super consistent. And for me, I don't know if you agree, and Braze, I don't know if you'll agree as well. It's your little homie, but for me, someone like Bhakti and I think Kid Spectre as well. I think they're really dope, but they always end up getting matched up with like heavy hitters, like all the people that we would consider to be like the more like experienced people, and so they end up getting knocked out and like quite early on in these events. So I think that. I feel like someone like Bhakti could easily have a similar story as, like we mentioned, Hunter earlier on, not winning an event but having enough points to put him quite high up. I could easily see Kid Spectre and Bhakti, aka Baby Spectre, just racking up enough points to put themselves in the solid, like the top 3 at the end of the Battle League.
Yeah, I agree.
And there's someone else I want to discuss as well. Actually,
same. I know who you're gonna say.
Who am I gonna say?
Ash.
Yeah, of course. Little campaign, Ash.
Yeah.
Again, I think it'd be so. He just needs a couple of like good matchups, and he could easily be top 3 at the end of the leaderboard.
I think I love I love the Battle League because anything can go. Like you just don't know how it's gonna. 100%. You just don't know what's gonna happen. It could just be flipped. Like instantly.
Yeah.
So it's so good, and I love how it's kept people consistent. Personally, I'd love to see more people come to really shake things up. Like I'd love to see more people come.
Yeah, season 3 is gonna look super different to season 2 because season 2 was like a massive upgrade on season 1, and I think.
And we've taken a little break as well because we had so much on that we do season 1. 3 months, and then we have 1 month off, and then we'll do a Buck the Bridge special, and it will be either like a big session with exhibition battles, or like we'll do last thing we done was a tournament qualifier for top 8 in Dublin,
which was fire. Check that one.
But this time we're taking a couple of months off.
It's because we were traveling a little bit, and then obviously now we're coming up to Christmas, so I don't think people want.
Yeah, we don't want to start it this month, December, just before Christmas.
Yeah, it's just
it's not
always necessary. But then hopefully we're gonna kickstart everything off in the new year, January, February, and March.
We've got the dates.
Yeah, we'll announce them on the Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do like an official post.
So you got to come over to our Instagram.
Yeah. By the time you're watching this, it's probably already on our Instagram. So yeah, House of Thieves, UK Krump. Yeah, check that out. Yeah.
All the handles will be in the description.
Yeah. Of course. Oh gosh. But yeah, actually this is a really good point. Because we have been traveling a lot recently, and we've been traveling separately, which is not usually what we do.
Yeah.
Usually we travel as a little squad. But I wondered if you wanted to talk about. A little bit. Give us a bit of insight into what it was like travelling to Desert Storm 4.
Yeah.
Right.
Went to Desert Storm 4 in Arizona. Shout out Dead End Fam. Amazing event. It was like a week-long festival of Krump. Like everything was just Krump. Everything that you could think of was just Krump. So day one, they had a choreography competition, but obviously it had to be Krump. So it was a Krumpography competition.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
And I mean the whole day was like that was the first day. So that to me felt like a family reunion. It was just like there was like a barbecue outside. It was all outside. They shout out to Jukebox Studio as well. They had it outside their studio. They hired a floor. Had a DJ, barbecue, they had vendors, had a live session to start with, and it all just vibed, danced, and then they had the choreography or Krumpography competition. So that was day one. Day two was the Beatmakers competition. That was so live, and it was so good to see all the beatmakers that were chosen to do their competition, show off their music and then dance to their music and then have other people dance to their music as well, like live, like first time they're showcasing specific tracks. They had like a category for each round, so it was like a session track, so they had to everyone had to session to a session track that the producers made. And then they had an experimental round, and then they had a battle round. So the producers had to battle to each other to their own tracks. That's crazy. And then they had a question and answer with all the judges and stuff. So you got to learn a little bit of history and a bit of backstories on the judges. So yeah, that again, pure Krump. Next day was the kids' night or the kids' day. The kids were just absolutely insane, and it was just so good to just have just a whole event just to them. They got to really shine. They got to be on the battle cards. They got to be on the big screen. Yeah. They got to they just got to be them and really show that everyone what they're about. And
I've seen the clips on Instagram and things like that. I know that I think it's a Seven to Smoke is up on YouTube now, but I haven't had a chance to check it out yet.
They've put up day 1, day 2, and day 3 at the moment, and they've put it up as a round off of the whole day, but the whole all the battles are on there. So they had a couple of showcases as well, and yeah, I don't think the footage could really capture the feeling and the energy. I always feel they say footage doesn't lie, but I feel footage does take away energy and the vibe. You can't recreate or show that energy and the vibe through the camera. That's with anything. Because honestly, I was just standing there oh my god, Baby Renegade actually made me cry 2 or 3 times, and I was like, oh my, why? And I was like, I don't want to battle this kid ever.
Well, that's what we say about Krump. It's about the energy, it's about the atmosphere, and you briefly mentioned the online competitions, and we said it's a bit different, it's
very different.
And yeah, you're absolutely right. To be there is so different to just catching up on the footage later on.
So that was day 3. Oh, they also had workshops as well. Was that day 2? Day 2 was workshops. Day 1 and day 2 had workshops. So day 1 was Miss Prissy, and day 2 was Solo and Bruiser.
Did you manage to take all of the workshops?
I didn't get to take Miss Prissy's because so I flew to Cali before. My big homie, shout out Big Riot. I flew to Cali to his house first. Got to session in Cali. So shout out to Trinity, Hybrid, Hornet, whoever, like loads of everyone that was there. Like shout out to you. And then we drove from Cali to Arizona the next day. So that was like a 5-hour, 6-hour drive.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So we turned up just as Miss Prissy was finishing. So we got to hang out with her for a bit, but she had to leave the next day. But yeah, we missed her workshop. But yeah, I got
that would have been cool. But you managed to take the other workshops.
Yeah, so they were the next day. So yeah, I took solos and then bruises. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, really good.
Oh,
Always
perfect.
good. And then where am I on day 3? Day 4. Day 4. Day 4 they had a 1v1 tournament in the day. And then Beast wasn't supposed to be there. He was supposed to be in a whole other country. He was supposed to be in Brazil. His flight got cancelled. He ended up coming to Arizona, and then he obviously won the whole last minute.
He wasn't even supposed to be there.
He wasn't even supposed to be there. And it's like last minute. It was like, let me just enter this real quick. And then
that's cheeky.
Oh, another thing though, like the prizes for like the beat makers, like the beat makers, the kids, the 1v1 tournament, they had like really dope prizes. So they obviously had like a trophy and like t-shirts or whatever, but the kids got like $500. 1v1 got $1,000.
Nice, very nice.
So wow.
Nice. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, and they like I feel like Dead End Family like really thought of everything. Like the timing was, they were like so like they had everything down like perfectly.
Yeah.
And I was like, how are they gonna fit this all in? But they did. They were like, if you're not here, you're not here. And they were like bang on time with everything. There was no long waiting around. It's like, oh, you need to be here at this time, and then 5 hours later nothing's happened. No, it was like
strict. On time, on schedule. Yeah.
I mean, like give 30 minutes here and there, but like it was the schedule. The schedule was on point. And then the next, so the tournament was on the Friday, and then the Friday evening was like day 1 of the main event battles. And each thing was in a different venue as well, so it wasn't all in one venue, it was all over the place. So the main event battles was in like a big gym, and like loads of vendors, bleachers, so you could see everything, or you could be on the floor with them. So some of the time I was like in there with the battles, so I'd like hype people up, and then sometimes I was sitting back so I could like see
everything.
So yeah. I mean, I could go about the battles all day, but the main event battles, the footage is going to speak for himself. And then the next day was more like the heavy main event battles were like the next day. There's so many moments. And then it was opened up by Kisses and Girl Grim the second day doing a showcase. Yeah, with all the females. They got all the females, like a female session at the beginning to open it up.
Oh, dope! Really dope.
Yeah, it was really tight.
It was. I mean, you said it was like 7 days. It was like a full week. Or?
It was 5 days. So it was like Tuesday to Saturday. So people took like Monday to travel down. I think Monday and Tuesday, and then like Sunday to leave.
That sounds intense, though. It sounds like it's just every single day, because it's not just like some days are like super. It's like every day was a crazy walk.
It was so good, and it was just the vibe. Also, Dead End put everyone like who was like on like a battle card or part of the event in the same hotel. So we were all just vibing in this same, like we took over every floor, and it was constantly people knocking at your doors, like, oh, like, yeah, come on. In the end, just leave your door open and people just walking.
Yeah.
It's just, it was just so vibe. Like, it was just a vibe.
So that's a really good point, actually. I think about the social side of these dance events, because I think we have been to events where it's literally been hotel, like the studio, back to the hotel, back on the plane, back home. And actually having those opportunities just to chill and vibe with the dancers that you only ever see on YouTube, you know, or something like that, and suddenly to be sat like in front of them and having a conversation, having a meal with them, having a drink, whatever the case may be. Yeah, it's kind of why I still do it. Like that's the really appealing part of traveling.
Definitely the social aspect of it is. I don't know. I feel like Krump really brings people together. Like if you're going through something, and you're around Krump, it helps you. It does. And then like meeting new people with the same passion. It's just, I don't know. It's just good. It's just good.
I'm sure you could think of an example of somebody. They don't speak English, you know, let's say we're traveling somewhere, they don't speak English, and you know, you can't really communicate with them, but you know, you dance with them, you speak the same language.
Yeah, session with them.
And you understand something.
Yeah, you understand it.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I think, so whilst you were out in America...
You were in Spain, right?
We were in Spain, yeah, me, Braze, and Madam CrookedDistrict is somewhere, but we travelled out there. It was actually, we went with Echo as well, twin Spectre, Braze's twin. It was actually his first time travelling outside of the UK for a Krump event. So for me, it felt quite nice because, you know, obviously we've been doing this for years now. So it was quite nice to sort of show them around, introduce them to the people that we've known for so long. You know. But yeah, the event was it wasn't 5 days, but it was still pretty intense. We had so when we arrived, it was a workshop from Dirty on the first day, and then the second day was the exhibition battles, the main event battles, the conglomerate. So that was really exciting because, like I said, it was Echo's first time traveling. But we've been asked to do a 2 versus 2 battle. So it was me, CrookedDistrict, and Echo versus Wukong and Twin Wukong. So I've known these guys for years. Never had a chance to battle them, but so to be like, you know, on the flyer and knowing that we were gonna come up against like 2 people that like I think are really, really dope. It's you know, it's nerve-wracking, but you know, it's just I just wanted to jump in and hopefully kill off. Basically, that was my goal. But it was a really dope battle, and I was really happy with the way it went down. Next day, straight into the 1 versus 1 battles. So it was the male and females. See, that was dope because they had the sort of main like tournament, but then those side categories like the get off category, which Braze was involved with. And the 7 to Smoke, the rookie 7 to Smoke with of course, girl Braze, Miss Grishka was there as well with us. Kind of forgot about her for a second there. But no, she did the 7 to Smoke, and she actually ended up taking the win. So House of Thieves,
As
UK Krump, it was dope. It was really dope actually to see her. I think everybody from the UK got something really like strong out of it. We had Quake join us for one of the days as well. Twin Sapien?
Yes.
Twin Sapien, yeah. So yeah, he joined us for one of the days, which is really nice to see more UK Krump. Basically, you're representing out in Spain. So I know that.
That's good. There's like a heavy number there of UK people repping. Yeah. That's really dope.
It definitely does feel different traveling, you know, because we've been in that situation where it's literally just been us traveling somewhere, but then to have more of that UK hype, you know, that's what we want. We just want to represent the UK, and that's exactly what we set out to do. And personally, I feel like that's what we did as a squad.
Speaking of hype.
Speaking of hype,
what's your favourite hype up?
How do I do this without making a bit of a fool of myself?
I hate my hype, right? So I don't know what it is. As a woman, I feel like you can hear us more in footage hyping. Because whenever you're playing your footage, we lab together a lot, session together a lot, we travel together a lot. So when he's sessioning, obviously I'm going to hype him. The next day I'll hear him looking and watching his footage, and all I can hear is me going, yeah! Why is it only my voice that you can hear and no one else's? So I'm gonna be
I'm gonna have to go back
hype.
and I need to check this out. There's two ways that I hype, right? And for me, I don't know where I got these from, but the first thing is I'll just speak and I'll just say, you know what, that was really buck, like as if they can hear me, you know. I'm just like, yo, that was buck. So you might hear everyone going I just go, wow, that was good. That's good quality Krump. Or the other thing is particularly at the start of people's rounds, I'll say, yeah, tell them. Show them. I don't know where. Again, I don't know where I got that from.
I do that when people are battling. I'm always like staring at them. Get them!
Get them! Get them! I don't know. It's like an instruction. Like, yeah, show them. Go on. Yeah, do it now. Yeah. But you know, then I think I know why it is. It's because when I'm going like in someone's ear, that's when I leave the session and I can barely speak. You know, I think I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. Leaving particularly events like EBS and Illest after you've just been hyping for like 6 hours or something crazy like this, and you go, yeah, we're going back to the hotel now. All right. we've been there. Yeah. I've had to go to work. Come back on a Monday, go to work on Tuesday, and I'm like, yeah, how can I help you? No, I can't do it. So that's why I take a step back and just say, that was some good quality Krump. That's how I hype now, you know. I can't hack it anymore.
That was some good quality Krump.
I can't do it.
That was so English. That's so polite. That was some good quality Krump.
Oh gosh.
Dead.
Speaking of good quality Krump, what I wanted to ask is what are I was going to say our plans, but I don't know if you've got any events specifically that you're going. I don't know if you're going back to America anytime soon, or if there's anything in mind that you know is coming up. I mean, other than Buck the Bridge in January, February, and March, with the dates going to be announced on our Instagram.
Yeah.
Other than that,
so obviously UK, we've got our event January, February, and March, like you just said. We think For the Culture's going to have an event, but we don't know the date for that yet. They said maybe January, February. Rekka is also coming down in January to teach a workshop for spoken movements week or month worth of.
Yeah, I think he's doing like an intensive, and as part of that, he's going to have some really good teachers come down. So that includes Rekka as well. So that's a spoken movement. I don't have the details at hand, but yeah, you can find all that information on his Instagram. So spoken movement. Yeah. Which would be really cool. I think it's Rekka's first time coming down to London. So yeah, it'd be really, really cool to see him. Yeah. I think.
And then overseas, didn't you say that there's another event in Spain in January?
Yeah. So actually, there's two events that I have in mind, and unfortunately they actually fall on the same weekend. So it's the Bonfire in Barcelona, Spain. That is, I've got it written down. The 28th and 29th of January, so it's right at the end of January. So I think that's the one that we're gonna travel out to. I think because I really enjoyed the time in Spain, and the Krump scene out there is just so welcoming.
I've never been to Spain for Krump, so I would like.
Yeah, I'd like to experience it.
Yeah, I'd like to see.
So that's on the list. You know, I still got to figure out book the flights and stuff like that. But I don't see a reason to not go out there. It was either that or, speaking of, because we mentioned Illest earlier, but they got the Illest qualifier happening in Germany that same weekend. So ideally we could do both, but obviously it's impossible. Can't be in two places at the same time. Yeah. So I was kind of hoping it would be the weekend before or after or something like that, but no, it just didn't fall into place. But yeah, the Illest qualifier. So yeah, we're starting the qualifiers back up again now,
and it's the 10th anniversary for Illest.
Really?
Yeah, so they're doing a bigger event this year for Illest.
Sweet.
I think they're starting on the Wednesday.
Yeah.
And running through to the Monday or Sunday and Monday. So
I remember going to the very first one.
Wow.
So when you say 10 years, that's why I was so surprised.
See, I went around then. Physically I was around, but not for Krump. Believe it or not, I'm older than 10.
Crikey. So because when I think back to it, it was like my first really good, such an insight into Krump, not like a version of Krump, but
was Illest the first event you went to, overseas?
I think It must have been. Yeah, I really do think so. No. It was. I went to a Christmas event that was organised by Jigsaw. Actually, and that was my first event entering as Tiny Bijou back in the day. So I had a battle with Tiny Tiger. The footage is out there on YouTube, but it is cringe. So
I'm gonna look
I haven't watched it. I haven't watched this in years. But then after that, it was because that was my first time in Paris for anything like dance related. And then, later on in the year, the first Illist, so I went there, and that was when I saw Tight Eyes and Miho. I got to take a workshop with them. So as Tiny Bijou, I was just so like, I was just trying to soak up as much knowledge as I could, and so that gave me such a strong insight into.
So you were Tiny Bijou the first time that you went to.
Yeah, the first time I went to Paris.
Went overseas.
Yeah.
So how did you become a Bijou?
So Kellius was actually judging an event in Bath, just outside of Bristol. So that's the first time I met him, and I didn't really know, but obviously everything that he did was like I think I took his workshop at the time. I was super impressed, and I was just wanting to soak up more knowledge, and so we started to talk more and more back and forth. And then I remember I moved to London, and I went to the Breakout 2.5 or something like this. You were judging braids. It was the first time I ever passed a pre-selection, actually. So thank you, my friend. I battled I think Caliber, but I think he was twin braids at the time. Gosh, so he smoked me in the first round. But okay, cool, whatever. But then I sent my round to Kellius, and it was that conversation like okay, you can start to represent the name. But with these things, it's always important. So it was like. He kind of said it was more of a time for me to double down on my Krump. Now that I've got a name, double down on it more. So I went out to Paris, tried to represent the Tiny Bijou name out there, and then eventually that led on to Illist and things like that. So actually that event that Brace was judging was the kind of that was the point where he said
that was like the stepping stone. Yeah, nice. Nice.
So that was God, it feels like so long ago now. I kind of forget I've been in Krump for. I got through the exact maths, but it must be 11, 12 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it surprises me because a lot of the people that I know, like Braze and Echo, I've known these guys for like 10 years now at least, or something like that. Anyways, so really like the friends I made in Krump are really like friends who have seen me through every sort of stage of my life.
That's another thing. Speaking of the social aspect of it, I feel like you make friends for life. They actually become your brothers and your sisters. It's not just... Obviously, you make acquaintances, but amongst this Krump community, you end up making people who are like your brothers and sisters for life.
Yeah, 100%.
Like you said, like you've known him for like 10 years plus, whatever.
Because you're quite well connected with the American scene, I guess, through the Riot fam.
Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering if there was anyone that you've been able to like connect with like online that you met for like the first time, maybe at Desert Storm 4 or maybe at a previous time.
There's been a whole bunch of people that I've talked to online, but I hadn't actually met them, or like maybe I'd seen them at events, but we hadn't like connected. But it's through like a lot of the online stuff that I've done in lockdown.
Yeah.
So even though the online competitions and stuff, like it's different to being live, obviously, but it did really help in a sense to connect people from across the world, and like doing lessons over Zoom and different challenges and stuff. Like shout out to Beast Camp, shout out to Wave. They consistently put on free stuff for people throughout lockdown. So there'd be you jump into a Zoom call and there'd be like people from all over the world, and you end up becoming really good friends. Like Kate Spirits in France.
Oh yeah.
I'd met her, like crossed paths with her, but we weren't friends. But we both were in Waves class every single week, and then we ended up talking, and now we're like sisters for life. Like
sweet.
So
that's really cool.
And it's like when we saw each other at Illist, finally after lockdown happened, we saw each other for the first time. We were like, yeah,
that's really cool. That's really sweet.
Yeah, and the same thing happened at Desert Storm 4. There was people that I battled online, like Lady Pain, Lady Dead End. These people I knew of, but didn't know them until after I battled them, or like Lady Dead End like spoke to her loads online, and then we finally got to see each other and Kisses as
Yeah.
well. Kisses, I hadn't actually met her in real life until Desert Storm 4, but we'd spoke online before.
I see. That's really cool. I think you connect with people, and it must be such a good feeling to be like, okay, now I can actually see you, and we can actually talk in person, and you get to see them dance and things like that. Yeah, that's what brings us together, really, isn't it?
And I'd say this wasn't at Desert Storm 4 either, but this was another. Like I'd seen him before, but 20 Kills. I got really good friends with him. But that was going back and forth online through different things, different workshops and stuff.
Yeah.
Over lockdown, and then now we're like really good friends.
Good.
And then, so seeing him in person, it's just like, oh, that's my brother.
Yeah, I see. I see. So speaking of future events as well, I wanted to talk about personally one of my favorite events, and it's coming back around in March, early March I think it is. You know what event I'm going to talk about?
Backyard.
Right. Backyard,
Yeah.
of course. So yeah, Backyard is coming up, and I think we'll have to plan it out and everything like that. But yeah, really, I'd love to see as many of the UK heads travel out there, because I would personally recommend it as one of my favorite events.
I would too. Definitely one of my favorite events in Europe. Definitely, and I feel like this is Prague even part of Europe?
Yeah. Wait,
I don't.
You remember
Cut that. Because I'm not good with geography.
Yes. I'll let you know. Now we know.
No, because they don't use euros, do they? Mind you, actually, we're
Names.
part of Europe and we don't use euros. Scrap that.
Well,
Just cut that.
they use euros and Czech crowns.
Do they? Oh, so why do I always buy Czech crowns then?
Braze is nodding his head. So,
yeah. For the benefit of the tape, right? Brace is not.
Yeah, it's
So why do we always get Czech crowns then? Why don't we just take euros?
I feel like I did. I'm trying to remember exactly what I did. It's been so long since I went out there.
I think it's a bit like how you can use Scottish notes here. But you don't. So you probably primarily use the crowns over there, but
I think
they probably do take euros
comparison,
as well.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, now we know.
Now we know.
We don't need to take Czech crowns. We can take euros.
Anyway, it's one of my favourite events, and I feel like the UK, if you've never travelled before, that should be the first one to go to.
Yeah. Because that's what we keep coming back to, the same thing. It's just the social aspect, and I think with Backyard, it's just always been such a welcoming scene, and I've just always enjoyed it. You know, I remember going to like the first time I travelled out there, Volume 2. I didn't make it that far because I was kind of whack back then, but now I'm a crazy buck. But it's the adventure. It's meeting people, and it's getting a chance to jump into sessions, because when I think about like Illest and EBS, and that's when all the craziest people all come together.
Yeah.
But you end up like having to really compete for a chance to session.
Yeah, you've got to really push, especially like the big sessions. Sometimes they have like littler sessions or like multiple sessions going on at the same time in like places like Illest and EBS.
Yeah.
But you do have to, like, if you're at the big ones, you do have to really fight to get. So I feel like if you want an event where it's got like heavy people there, but it's not so big that you're not going to get a chance to session, and you're not going to get a chance
standing
to, like,
at the back of the session, trying to like look
trying
over
to
someone's
see
shoulder
and stuff.
It's a really good midway point.
It's
between those things. So it is a really like it's a good level event. But it's just, I don't know, there's just something about it. You know, like I said, the scene is super welcoming, and we've only ever had good times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Win or lose, get to the finals, or don't get past the pre-selections. You know, that doesn't really matter, because actually, you know, you'll be able to jump in the sessions, you'll be able to interact with people, and just have a good time. So that's why, like you said, I always recommend it for anybody of like any level. You know? So that's coming up at the beginning of March. So I think we're gonna have to look into organising a UK trip.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to add? I think we've covered Buck the Bridge. We've covered.
We've covered a lot for episode 1. This might even be a 2-parter, so you might.
You might be watching this part. As a part 1 and part 2.
Part 1 and part 2. Yeah.
yeah, I just want to give a shout out to the UK scene. I want to give a shout out to House of Thieves ourselves. Yeah, do look out for the information for Buck the Bridge. It is going to be announced on Instagram, on all of our social media platforms, I guess. Yeah, if wherever you're watching this, make sure you click follow or subscribe or all of that jazz. Check out House of Thieves on TikTok and Instagram, all that jazz. Anywhere else? On Facebook? Do people use Facebook anymore? Yeah. Yeah, well, follow us wherever you're looking at this, anyways. But yeah, thank you so much for coming by, recording this with me.
Welcome.
It's been a great conversation. Until next time.
Yeah.
Peace, peace, peace.